to obtain that certification. Thank you. So now we've got to maintain it. We're looking at post-construction and doing a lot of things. We're looking at solar panels and trying to incorporate that to the building and make it extremely efficient. I remember the goal that I was the most worried about was we had to reach a certain level of energy efficiencies. I think it was 16.7%. And I kept telling the architects, how the hell are we going to do this, with the retractable roof and whatnot. And we modeled the facility with our team of professionals and ended up with just over 22%. So extremely pleased with the outcome. One of the things you'll see with the building as you walk it tonight, if you get a chance, and I know you're doing the party at the Budweiser bar or the pregame, but just walk around the promenade level. You're going to see a lot of art. I'll tell you something that very few people know in the building. Right behind home plate, as you walk in, there's a Joan Miro ceramic tile, reproduction of an original painting that was done. And we got the permission from the Heritage, since Joan Miro passed away quite a few years ago. And Jeffrey Loria owned the painting, the original painting. And I'll remember probably we started in 2009 and finished the project in 2012. So sometime in 2009, he brought us an 8.5 by 11 painting, drawing of his painting. And he said, these are the 4 colors I want to see in the ballpark. This blue, this green, this red, and this yellow. So when you see that drawing, basically that was our inspiration for the color theory that you'll see inside the ballpark. And for most ballparks, you see a lot of concrete. We wanted to incorporate a lot of energy. When you think of Miami, you think of water, you think of the very bright colors, fun times, etc. And we wanted to raise the bar and create that energy in the ballpark. And that's what you see with all the colors. When you look at the glazed block, you'll see the yellow down the first baseline, and you'll see the red and the blue down the third baseline. And you'll see that same setting as you walk the concourse. Behind home plate, it's blue. As you head down to first base, converts to yellow. Then the outfield is green, and then the third base is red. And we wanted people to be able to identify themselves in the building. So if you had friends at the ballpark, you could say, "Hey, where are you? I'm in section 17 in basically the blue quadrant." And people could locate themselves appropriately. And it gave us the opportunity to really go after sponsorships based on the quadrants as well. But total capacity of the ballpark is 37,000 seats, so 37,422 seats. We started the ballpark with 66 suites, and we finished the ballpark with 45 suites. The one thing we saw, there was a major change in the industry. Miami is not known for large corporations. You have a lot of individuals with high net worth, but not a lot of Fortune 500 companies. So we felt for people to commit to 81 games for 16 or 22 seats, the demand was just not there. And we're very fortunate that we did that. And I was talking to the people building the Braves facility, and they're looking at 24 suites only. So the industry has really gone from football that used to build 200 suites, and now on the other extreme where baseball stadiums are looking at 20 to 50 maximum, depending on the market. So that's definitely a change that we've seen. The other one is certainly capacity. We all remember the ballparks with 70, 75,000 people. Well, baseball is 81 games. This is a 10-day homestand. So to think that you can get 50,000 individual people coming to a game every night for 10 days, very difficult with the diversity of these markets and the activities that we have. So the ballpark capacities are getting smaller and smaller. And our capacity right now, we do have the smallest ballpark in baseball at 37,000, but the majority of them are being built in that 38 to 42 range. And if anything, you're going to see a continued trend in reducing the capacity of the ballpark. A few things, we wanted to open the roof, but because of the heat, we decided to close it quicker so you'd be more comfortable. I thought you would appreciate it. But right now the temperature, it will get a little bit cooler than what it is, but we normally keep the temperature at 75 degrees in the ballpark. So by game time, we will be at optimal temperature, and you can see how comfortable it is versus all you have to do is go outside for 5 minutes. And I spend a lot of time outside before the games, and believe me, I realize how comfortable we are inside. But it's a major benefit to the club. We end up playing between 60 and 65 games a year with the roof closed, and that's really due to the humidity level, the winds, and potential rain. In Miami, people told me it rains every day. Well, you know what? It pretty well rains every day. Sometimes for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you get, especially late afternoons, and 10 minutes later, the sun's out again. So something we had to deal with batting practice, and for us to be competitive, from our team standpoint, we wanted to make sure that the 81 games at home, we were able to take batting practice and be able to play on a regular basis. So it's one of the things that probably delayed us getting the project, because a lot of people wanted us to build a ballpark with no roof. And I remember the biggest fights we had was the roof and the garages. When we discussed it with the city and the county, they didn't want to give us the funding for in terms of the parking garages and the surface lots. And we felt that if that was the case, we didn't, it wasn't worth it for us to build any ballpark in South Florida. We wanted to make sure that we could have season ticket holders on site and be able to feel very secure in that setting, get to the ballpark easy, and enjoy their experience. So we ended up with 4 parking garages, 6 surface lots for 5,700 spaces on site. What's unique with South Florida is when the Orange Bowl was here, majority of the people would park in people's lawns and in people's driveways. And, we get 50, 60, 70,000 people coming to a football game, and people would actually park in their driveways. I didn't think that was appropriate. It's one thing doing it for football for a day game, but when the majority of our games are played at night, it did not make a lot of sense to us. In terms of the roof opens and closes in 13 minutes. A lot of misconceptions about the roof. The roof, people think that it's really expensive to open and close the roof. The cost to open the roof is $15 per time that we open. So what's expensive with the roof is what we're doing now is climatizing the building, because this is 928,000 square feet. So every block of 4 hours, it's between $17,000 and $20,000. So every time we decide to close the roof for a 4 or 5 hour game, it's costing us north of $20,000 just in utilities. And and the majority of it is the air conditioning. We have 4 air coolers that moves 12,800 gallons per minute throughout the system. That allows us basically a cooling capacity of 6,800 tons and allows you to be comfortable as you are right now. The other thing that's kind of unique with the roof, and if you might be able to see it depending where you're sitting, but there is a difference in angle of 30 feet between the north roof track, this is the north roof track, and the south roof track. And the reason we did that, to have that different elevation, was to allow us to capture more sun and reduce the shade inside the ballpark. Because even though we're in an open setting 97% of the time, because our owner, Jeffrey Loria, the one thing he gave us as a guideline, he wanted natural grass. So that took a permanent roof out of the equation. And that was probably a $20 million incremental cost. But once that decision was made, we had to make sure that the grass could survive. And our biggest headache in the first 2 years of the ballpark was the condition of the grass. And I'm glad to say that we figured it out, but the first 2 years, the first thing I would do coming to the ballpark, I'd walk the ballpark, from the field level, then I'd go to the upper deck and look at the condition of the grass, and I would just shake my head because I couldn't believe we built this beautiful ballpark and the grass was below standard. And we finally found the right product, which is Pascal and Platinum, and used on a lot of golf courses as well, and very shade resistant and allows us to keep the condition of the grass to optimal conditions, even with all the grade, the amount of shade that we do get. So when you're walking, you'll see a little bit of a change of 30 to 30 feet, and it is noticeable from the eye that it does slant. And again, just remember that was done for that reason. The other thing, as you're walking the ballpark, you'll see a lot of art. Jeffrey, being an art dealer, wanted this ballpark to be almost a gallery, and inside the gallery you play baseball. So if you go to the Legends level, you'll see a lot of white floor